in no way, shape, or form would I possibly announce or influence you guys in any capacity to believe that that fight is going to take place. The world of MMA does some really strange things at times, so I also cannot assure you unequivocally that it won't happen. But this story is fugazi at best on multiple levels. First off, these guys announced that they were fighting each other a meaningful amount of time ago. I am going to guess 3 weeks to a month. Okay. Oscar De La Hoya, who is the alleged promoter, has now come out and confirmed that he has contract signed. He went to the media and said he has contract signed. That is not an announcement, and that is not a press release at all. And the world of fighting has a very clear recipe, and Oscar De La Hoya knows it, and Oscar De La Hoya has the recipe, and Oscar De La Hoya on every single fight without question has followed the recipe. You announce your most shocking, your biggest fight, your most media and attention-worthy fight on the same day that you announce tickets going on sale. You would never miss, you would never not follow that paradigm, and Oscar De La Hoya, who is a smart guy within this space, knows the recipe, has the recipe, and follows the recipe for every fight that he's ever promoted except save one, Chuck Liddell versus Tito Ortiz, Part 3. He literally went to the media and said he had contract signed. He then said, for October or November or December of this year, in either California or Las Vegas, we're undecided. Okay, doesn't work that way. Some new guy fly by night with some money wanted to be involved in the sport. Yeah, we do see those guys come along and do things and go bust after their first show. We do see those, but we don't. That's not Oscar. That's not Oscar De La Hoya. That's not Golden Boy Promotions. That's not how they do things. So, first off, if he doesn't know what city he's going in, okay, you could back it up from there and say, well, do you have a promoter's license in both states? I think he does. I think the answer to that is yes. Okay, fine. So those states become eligible. But you don't have a venue booked in either? You don't have a name of a show? You don't have a co-main event and a supporting cast? Do you own a cage? Were you planning to put this into a boxing ring, which would really be a disaster and always has been in North America for mixed martial arts? In other countries, they get away with putting mixed martial arts in a ring. In North America, it's never once succeeded. So is it a co-promote? Is it boxing and MMA, which is also weird, also an idea that people think is a really great one, but it's never succeeded? See, if we're dealing with some dum-dum, I'd let it slide. But this is Oscar. Oscar's a very sharp guy. Have any opinion of him you want, but you also have to have that one if you're going to tell the story fair. He's a sharp guy. So he's got no venue, no tickets on sale, used his one bullet with the media to announce a fight, but offered no possible way to capitalize on that. No on sale, no date, nothing that could stick out, nothing where a fan could go and mark the calendar and circle it in red and say, I want to stay home that night. No channel, no network, no anything, no supporting cast. So we don't even know if this is the main event. Is it the co-main event? I mean, who else is out there? That's the other really tough thing, right? There's not a whole ton of room in MMA right now. And one thing that we do know about MMA, and again, a fly-by-night guy that was just dipping his toe in this space might get this wrong, but this isn't Oscar's first fight, obviously, but it's not even his first mixed martial arts fight. He was involved with the Affliction program. Affliction went down because Josh Barnett had to pull out of a fight with Fedor Emelianenko, which was the main event. Not only did they close up the show, they closed up the company. So Oscar De La Hoya is full aware that this is not like boxing where you can go top-heavy. Mixed martial arts is not just top-heavy because our guys don't show up. Our guys make up excuses. I don't know why the boxing world isn't plagued with that. I guess they're tougher guys. Certainly are mentally. In MMA, you got to go 5 deep. Of those 5, you know going in full well, I'm only going to get 3, and of those 3, I really hope my main and co-main stay intact, but I'm probably going to lose one of those too. You have to go in 5 deep, and Oscar knows this. But he offered no supporting cast, he offered no date, and he has no tickets on sale. He doesn't even have a name for the show. Then he bought himself some time by saying it could be October, November, or December, and then he bought himself 2 cities. So he disclosed to the audience and the media right up front, I don't have any kind of a plan in place. That does not mean it's not going to happen, but boy, that is suspicious. I mean, you got red flags popping up all over. If the media had the sense that God gave geese, they would have simply asked him that. Hey, Oscar, had you on this show a whole bunch, taken a whole lot of your press conferences, done a lot of PR for you. Got to tell you, this is the first time ever you've announced a fight without the name of a show, a venue secured, or tickets on sale. As a matter of fact, it's even the first time you ever announced speculation of a fight without knowing what city you were going to hold it in. I got to tell you, Oscar, something here doesn't sound right. It also happens to be coming at a time when Dana White is saying that he's going to get into boxing, and it would appear that George is trying to let him know, you stay out of my sport and I'll stay out of yours. That's how it appears, but there was no follow-up question done by the media. They were just willing to digest it and then regurgitate it, which I found to be very interesting. It seemed like a great opportunity to say, hey, Oscar, couldn't help but notice, but in the past, you've always done the things in this specific order, known as a recipe. But you didn't follow it this time, and I'm just wondering why. That would seem like a very normal and responsible question. Unless you were a reporter that thought you had potential clickbait, and you would rather be willfully ignorant and run with it to help you in the day's news cycle. That's what it would seem. It would seem as though Oscar, calling the media and making the announcement 1 week prior to International Fight Week, would also be very convenient to his anti-Dana White strategy. It would seem that. He felt as though when he was getting ready to promote Canelo and Triple G, he felt Dana coming in with Conor and Floyd and doing it 5 weeks before him sucked all of the air out of the room, which he ran around and told anybody willing to listen, and he resented it. And now it appears that he's trying to do that back. And we could answer this question very quickly. If Chuck and Tito receive signing bonuses, then the fight's going to happen. That would be at lock, stock, and barrel. The fight would happen if we knew if they received signing bonuses. If they did not receive signing bonuses, those guys should save their trips to the gym. They're both lazy and neither one of them want to work out and they can't fight for a lick. I'll offer you that. But if they're going to go out and do this and they didn't get a signing bonus, I will now let you know that fight's not going to happen. And only they would know if they got a signing bonus. If they did and Oscar's invested and he has skin in the game, then I'll have to take it back. And I'll still be left to wonder, hey, why'd you go out of order? Why, for the first time in your company's history, did you announce a fight in a venue that's unsecured with tickets that are not on sale on a channel that you did not reveal? I would be very curious as to why he did it in that order. I would be curious why he made a big announcement on International Fight Week, and if they're even tied together. But then I would happily admit to you guys that I was wrong. And Oscar had a plan all along, and he's got a seat at the table, and he could teach me something. I would happily say that. But boy, this just doesn't feel right. And now that I've put it to you, who's going to be the supporting cast? Right? This isn't a fly-by-night guy that doesn't know what he's doing. We see those guys jump into MMA. We used to see him more about 10 years ago. We don't really see him as much anymore, but we have seen that. This is Oscar De La Hoya, who put his toe in the pond and failed because he lost his main event. So he is more than educated and more than armed with the information that you can't go top-heavy in the sport of mixed martial arts. You have to have a supporting cast. You book 5, knowing full well you're going to get 3, and you keep your fingers crossed that of those 3, your main and co-main stay intact. So, who is the co-main event that night? And even though we don't know, let's just speculate. Let's just close our eyes as mixed martial arts fans. Let's think about the guys who are free agents, and let's think about who we'd like to see matched up. If you can possibly come up with an answer, I'm now going to force you to do it again, again, and again, because that's what will take to fill up an entire card. It will take 5 feature matches. I'm just suggesting to you that's very, very hard to come by right now. That's a piece of the recipe that Dana White, who's looking to get into the boxing space, is well aware of. He's not just going to gyms and signing Golden Gloves guys and thinking he can build them up because he thinks he's got the storyline and the production and that the punches are enough. He's well aware that it's a star-driven industry. The guys are out there, but he's got to get them, and he's doing it in the right order. And it looks as though Oscar is bluffing. That's what it looks like. But if he's not, boy, that could be even worse. It is very hard to turn a buck in mixed martial arts. Very, very hard. He tried before. He wasn't able to do it. 2 guys have been able to do it. They've got venues booked out for years. To put that in perspective for you guys, I suppose I took that for granted. Falsely. I guess you guys wouldn't understand that. To get a venue, to get a meaningful venue in a meaningful city, you could be 12 months out. So for Oscar to come in with a press release and say, yeah, I'm going to do it in one of these 2 mega cities, Los Angeles or Las Vegas. And it's going to be sometime in these months, and I don't know. He doesn't have the venue booked. Does he have it booked for Golden Boy? Does he have a relationship down? He's willing to release the date. He books enough shows. He's going to substitute a planned boxing event and put MMA in. Is that the answer? Maybe. That would answer the question. Maybe that is the answer. But it has to be something like that. You can't start from zero here on July 4th and have it done by November just because you want it done in a meaningful city, in a meaningful venue. They don't work that way. They're competitive. They're booked up. So does he have a couple of dates reserved in both of those cities within those months that he identified of October, November, or December that he was planning a boxing event? Quite possibly. It would surprise me, but it is definitely within the realm of possibility. But if you look at this thing with any level of skepticism, something here stinks. And Chuck and Tito are being used as pawns in Oscar's game of bluff, his game of who's going to blink first, with Dana White. Chuck and Tito are going to hear this segment. Chuck and Tito are the only 2 people that know if they receive signing bonuses. And if they did, they can dismiss everything that I just said. All of it. And if they didn't, they got played.